Thanks for tuning in. I'm Brock Page, and if you want to save yourself some time, check out my picks for this video in the description section below. Once again, I'm not a sports betting expert, I'm just a fan. That said, let's get into some picks for the 13th. First game I have for you, Golden State minus 10.5 at Denver. Total points drop down to a big 240.5. If you're thinking about betting the spread, 58% of the money is on the Warriors. Golden State's also successfully covered in their last 3 contests. On the other side, Denver's failed to cover in 2 of their last 3. When it comes to the total points, both teams have collectively averaged well under the total posted points in their last 4 games respectively. All that said, I'm taking Golden State winning this one outright as game 1 of my 2-teamer. Next game I have for you, it's going to be Memphis minus 7.5 at Brooklyn. Total points dropped all the way down to just 210.5. If you're thinking about betting the spread, 57% of the money is on the Grizzlies. Memphis covers a solid 60% of their games against teams winning less than 45% of theirs. On the other side, Brooklyn's covered just 11 of 29 at home. Both teams collectively averaged well under the total posted points in their last 4 games respectively. All that said, I'm taking the Memphis Grizzlies to win this one outright as game 2 of my 2-teamer. Next game I have for you, Atlanta plus 3 at Portland. Total points jumped up to a big 216.5. Atlanta's 64% ATS as the underdog. Both teams are averaging well under the total posted points in their last 4 games respectively. All told, I'm taking Atlanta plus 13 as game 1 of my 4-team teaser number 1. Next matchup, New Orleans plus 3.5 at Phoenix. Total points drop down to just 220.5. Although they're the favorite, Phoenix is 0-5 in all their games at the current point spread this year. Both teams have collectively averaged well under the total posted points, in their last 4 games respectively. All told, I'm taking New Orleans plus 13.5 as game 2 of my sweetheart teaser number 1. Next game, Boston minus 1.5 at Dallas. Total points drop down to just 208.5. 64% of the money's on the Celtics. Along with successfully covering in their first matchup with Dallas, the Celtics are an impressive 80% this year at the current point spread. They also cover an impressive 77% as the official road favorite. Both teams have collectively averaged well over the total posted points in their last 4 games respectively. All that said, I'm taking Boston plus 8.5 as game 3 of my 10-point teaser number 1. Next contest, Detroit plus 3 at Milwaukee. Total points drop down to just 209.5. 59% of the money's on Milwaukee. Speaking of which, the Bucks cover a solid 60% facing teams giving up 99 to 102 a game. Both teams are collectively averaging well over the total posted points in their last 4 games respectively. All that said, I'm taking Milwaukee plus 7 as the last game of teaser number 1. Let's slide into teaser number 2. I got Philadelphia plus 22 at Charlotte. No, that is not a mistake. The Sixers opened up at plus 12 in this one. Once again, Sixers plus 22 at Charlotte. Next game, I have San Antonio plus 7 at Indiana in the 10-point teaser number 2. After that, I have Miami plus 4 at home against Orlando. Next and final pick for teaser number 2, I have the Washington Wizards plus 5.5 at home against OKC. Along with Washington's impressive home record, they're also a solid 67% against the spread as the official home favorite. Once again, I like Washington plus 5.5 as the 4th game of teaser number 2. Last game of the show, Clippers at Utah. The betting opened up with Utah minus 7 with the total points at 207. Currently, Utah is now minus 8 on the spread with the total points dropping down to just 204.5. If you're betting the spread, 64% of the money's on the Clippers to cover. Aside from the Clippers successfully covering the spread in their first meeting, both teams have been equally lackluster against the points in many categories. That said, the Clippers have covered in 3 of their last 4. When it comes to the total points, both teams have collectively averaged 219 total combined points in their last 4 games respectively. Utah games have gone over the line in their last 5 straight. All that said, I'm foregoing the spread and the money line in this one. I'm taking the over 204.5 for the final pick of the show. Well, folks, that's going to do it for me. Once again, I have to remind you that I am not a sports betting expert, nor do I implore you to take any of my picks. If for some reason you decide to use the information on this program, you're utilizing it at your own discretion. Most importantly, if you're betting any of these games, do it safe, do it responsibly, and most important, have fun. For Brock Page, predictions and sports picks, I'm Brock Page, and have yourself a positive day.